just announced that he's running for re-election. But it comes at a difficult moment for him as a host of legal challenges, not least a number of criminal investigations, probably the most potent criminal investigation surrounding the former president right now.
The first time in history that a president or former president's home has been subject to this kind of FBI search.
It's focused on the potential mishandling of national security documents.
Documents and secrets so sensitive that the nation's security was potentially put at grave risk.
And also obstructing a federal investigation as the DOJ has tried to recover these documents.
The DOJ now saying the FBI went into search after evidence surfaced that there were still classified documents in Mar-a-Lago, even after a Trump attorney said they had all been handed over.
There's two investigations concerning January 6th. The first is a congressional investigation by the House January 6th Select Committee. They recently subpoenaed him for documents and testimony, which he is now blocking or seeking to block in federal court. The more dangerous investigation for him is probably the criminal investigation, again, being pursued by the Justice Department.
We just got a huge bit of breaking news. The DOJ is investigating the ex-president's actions as part of its criminal probe of January 6th.
The Georgia Fulton County investigation is probably the one that's most likely to lead to prosecution at the moment.
Court documents show that the Fulton County District Attorney has now notified 16 people who signed an unofficial document that, if taken seriously, would have handed Georgia's presidential victory to the former president. The so-called fake electors are accused of trying to help President Trump overturn the 2020 election here in Georgia.
As well as Trump's call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
President Trump doubling down on claims of voter fraud in Georgia, and he's heard on the phone asking Georgia Secretary of State to find votes to overturn our election.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
And that is being seen as election interference, which is a state crime in Georgia. So Trump's facing two major investigations in New York. The first is an investigation into the Trump Organization, which is basically his own company that's synonymous with him. And then the other investigation is centered on Trump and his children effectively running the Trump Organization in such a way as to try and get financial benefits.
New York Attorney General Letitia James alleges the Trump Organization repeatedly engaged in fraudulent and misleading practices to secure loans, tax benefits, and insurance coverage.
Whereas the New York State cases are civil in nature, the January 6th and Mar-a-Lago cases are criminal. And so he's basically looking at potential violations of federal law, which dramatically increases kind of legal exposure and its potential for jail time. I don't think Trump sees the legal difficulties as an impediment. I think he sees the Justice Department intensifying its efforts in investigating him as one of the reasons why he has to announce his candidacy for the 2024 campaign. I mean, there is definitely this view inside Trump world that if he's a declared candidate, he will be treated by the Justice Department differently. He is definitely the front runner for the Republican nomination until there's any evidence to the contrary. Even his potential rivals, people like, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he is not considered to be particularly great, for instance, on the debate stage. And Trump has already threatened to reveal sordid details about his personal life if he runs. And so I think it could get very messy. And when Trump thrives is when the Republican Party is not clear about what it wants and the direction that it's heading, and when there's a lot of infighting. And so I think he's kind of preying on this to carry him through to 2024.